It's just because there's going to be a gap there because I don't get hair there. Hello!
Welcome to Edith. Well, Twitch and Stitch.
Twitch and Stitch, but
Edith is what we're sitting in.
We're podcasting today from Edith.
Edith is my glamper. If you don't know what glamping is, go onto Pinterest
and look up glamping.
So, we are here today. And
to talk to you about knitting.
We wanted to make sure we got a podcast off before we leave because it might be a little bit hectic before we can podcast again.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, maybe this is your first time tuning in. We're leaving to go to Ireland, and my name is Scylla, and
also known as
Stitch.
No,
Scylla _ P on Instagram, and I'm not on any of the other things.
Do I have to tell you who you are?
You kind of do, yeah. Like, I just don't know
who you are.
I'm awesome. That girl.
She's that girl. That girl.
And this is Marcia.
She has her own theme song.
I do.
I don't know what it is yet. We'll come up with it. I'm Marcia. Also known as Fairy Little on Instagram and Ravelry. And on Ravelry we have a group called Fairy Little Twitch and Stitch.
We do have a group.
Mm-hmm.
One day I'll look at our group.
For all the people who want to come and join into the gaiety and fun and frolicking and
it is
chatter.
So much fun.
Yeah.
We can frolic on the group.
We can frolic.
Is there virtual frolicking?
We encourage frolicking.
We definitely encourage frolicking. Everything is better with a little frolic.
Who doesn't like to frolic?
I don't know.
I think that when we go out today, I think that instead of just like walking, we should frolic.
And we invite you to frolic with us.
Frolic with us. Let's all frolic.
Let's all frolic. You know, the day is always better with frolicking.
I know.
Yeah.
And we have received quite a few new subscribers since our last episode. Being a podcaster, it's very interesting because I didn't think I would pay attention to it. And it's only been in the last little bit that I've really been watching it. And I watch it right after we post an episode to see what happens.
Da da da.
Da da da. And it's funny because it so ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it does.
And it's interesting because I love to people watch and to understand how people's minds work and stuff. And so it's interesting because like we had like some of our craziest podcasts where we're totally Looney Tunes. It's like 10 o'clock at night and we're like punchy and we just like so many people subscribed. And then some of our like more even keel ones that like I'm not doing offensive accents and stuff. We're like 5 people unsubscribed. So it's
interesting.
Like, is that what you want to see? Because I can do that.
Do more offensive accents.
Do more offensive accents.
It can be done.
We can do it. Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
I know. So funny. So yeah. So and we've had quite a few more subscribers, and I'll get into the like there is a why. And
why?
There is a reason, because it's been in the last couple days that there's been more subscribers, and we want to say thank you to everybody who's subscribed.
Thank you.
And to all the people who have unsubscribed and are checking back in to see if we're still why you unsubscribed.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're still the same.
There's been no change. Why would we?
It's so funny though. I love it. Like either way, I'm like, but it does make my heart a little bit happy every time we get a new subscriber.
It really does. I remember there's been days where Marcia's like, Stella, we've gone up 2. And it's like, Stella, we've gone down 2.
But you know what's funny though is because it's because there's a reason.
There's always a reason.
There's
it's
always
funny.
a reason it's funny, and it's a funny reason.
Wait, is this like a funny story? My mom was in...
No, this
Okay.
is a real funny story. It's because, like, I always tell people how funny I am. And that's...
True story.
And it's funny because I tell people so often that I'm so funny, and it's just like, hi, I'm really funny. And people are like, not really.
I don't really know how to take you, or that, or...
Yeah. And so I always tell my husband, and we've been married for 11 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. And I always tell him how funny I am, and his response is, "You're not as funny as you think you are." Constantly, like that's his honed in response. So when people subscribe,
You're like, see, husband, I am funny.
I'm like, this many subscribers, funny. Other people enjoy me too. Which is funny.
Ow!
I didn't hit you.
No, I know, but the swelling of your head got a little too close.
And it's funny.
It is funny.
I know. Oh, so good. So, this is a knitting podcast.
For those of you who don't know, it
You
may
didn't
have
know and
may
you
have
came here
clicked
by
on us by
accident.
accident and don't have an interest in knitting. You can learn.
Yeah.
See, we bring balls.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
are both, we're both drinking vitamin C drink. And we're getting up on our vitamins before we travel.
We hear it helps with jet lag.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a placebo effect, we're in.
And, you know, we go on so many, like, rabbit trails.
We do.
Because now you're talking about jet lag, and I'm like, yeah, because jet lag, like, now I want to talk about the difference between the time zones. So our time zone is, like, the last, almost the last one.
Yeah,
It's
we're the second
from
last one. So in Christmas time, Santa Claus comes to us almost last.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sad. But
Yeah. I think Hawaii's after, and
Yeah.
then that's it.
yeah. Well, there's a time zone past that, but nobody lives there.
Yeah, it's just ocean.
Yeah.
We checked. No.
We did. It was on the Santa watch.
But the thing is, okay, so last night I stayed up super late, and it was 2 a.m, and I went to bed. And before I went to bed, I checked what time it would be in the UK, and Ireland. And, so 2 a.m. here, it was 10 a.m. there. So that's what the time difference looks like. Like, usually, because I chat with quite a few of you who are in Europe, and the only time I can talk with you directly on Instagram or, you know, direct messaging or messaging with Ravelry is on the shoulders. Like, you're either getting up and I'm going to bed, or I'm getting up and you're going to bed. So it's like everyone's posting their suppers and I'm like drinking my coffee and glaring at the screen. Are you seriously eating that right now? 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
We seem cheery, but neither of us are really morning people.
Yeah, it takes a little while to become us.
Us, yeah.
But Scylla especially.
Ooh, I need 20 minutes coffee in silence.
She's so funny. She just sits there and she's like, she won't even talk. Like, she just like glares at people and they come near her and she's like,
It's like,
so funny.
and my eyes are squinty too because they're not fully awake.
And
I'm just
she'll
like, oh.
start talking, and it's so funny because it's like she'll be thinking of a whole conversation, and she's responded for you in her head already. So, like, you're halfway through a conversation with her that you don't even know you've been having.
And then I speak up in the middle.
And then she starts
no
talking in the middle, and then she's like, so Thursday works then. What? And you're like, we were just talking about it.
Works for what?
I'm like, works for what? Let's back up. And she's like, we were talking about the thing that we're going to do on Thursday, and that works. And it's just like, what thing? What are we talking about?
Because I have a thing where when I wake up in the morning too, and I don't even notice I do it, but I mentally plan my day. And I don't do well with change. If somebody like comes in and abruptly changes my day, I'm fine. You just got to give me about 20 minutes to wrap my head around it and readjust. But yeah, if something changes in my day and my day's planned, like if my day is planned to be spontaneous or my day is planned.
It's planned to be spontaneous,
right?
She's okay with it.
Like if I plan to sit at home all day and knit, and then Marsha's like, hey, you want a podcast today? I'm like, sure, because that fits into my day. But if I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to my office, and I'm going to do this, and then I've got this going on, and then I'm going to do this. And even though none of those are set appointments, I've planned them in my head.
And I'm like, let's go shopping. She's like, And then she's just like, but I was going to do this, and I was going to do that. And she gets offended. And then she's like, but I'm not tense. Like, I'm just thinking about it.
I know. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, okay, let's go shopping.
It's ridiculous.
I need time to process change.
Thanks for strolling down the rabbit trail again with us. I think we talk more than we knit.
Well, we're knitting today while we're talking.
Yeah. So what are you working on?
I am knitting.
Good question.
I'm only knitting in sections of 8, and I've got stitch markers in between, so I can actually work it. I am knitting on for this month. We were doing a cable along, and I finally started it. I cast it on. I know I showed the cast on the last podcast, but I ripped it out because it wasn't even. And then I knit, and I was knitting 9 stitch bunches, but it's only bunches. What are they called when they're between sections? And they're only supposed to be 8 stitch sections. But the pattern says first round.
No, you can't read the pattern. It's a paid for pattern.
Okay. Well, in the last stitch, I thought it was 2 stitches. And it says knit 1 TBL. So knit 1 through the back loop. And I thought I had to knit 1 and then knit another 1 through the back loop. And so I ended up with 9 stitches. I'm like, I have 4 stitches left over. I'm like, how is that possible? And so like I ripped it out and I did it again.
And she's so grumpy, and I was looking at her, I'm like, your stitch count's up. No, it's not. I know exactly how many stitches are between those.
Because I kept counting. I'm like, no, there's 8. No, there's 8. There's definitely, or 9. There's 9. Yeah, it was horrible. Then I had to put it away for 2 days, and I ripped it out and started again. So
I picked it up when she wasn't around. And I looked at the pattern, and I counted her stitches. And I was like, there's a section of 9, there's a section of 12, there's a section of 14. I'm like, that was not a good counting day.
and it's because I was feeling unsuccessful. Like, I should be able to do this pattern.
I should be able to count to 8.
Like, I should be able to. I'm like, I don't know why I can't. Like, it shouldn't be this complicated. And so I was so frustrated. I put it down and I went to work. And I come back and Marcia started. You want to tell them about what you did?
No.
Okay.
Just kidding.
I'm going to do it then. So Marcia decided to pick up the pattern. And she's like, I'm going to do the pattern with you, Scylla, and I'm going to...
So it's one of what I'm working on things.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm just going to always knit a little bit ahead of you.
So I know what you're going to run into so I can help you.
So she can help me when I get frustrated and confused and...
Yeah, it was weird because I cast mine on and I started working on it right away, and it was really... It was awesome because I counted my stitches and it worked out perfectly. I'm like, yeah.
And we cast on together. Like at the exact same time, we cast on together.
Yeah.
And I've put more time in.
Yeah, because I didn't work on it at all yesterday or today.
She's a faster knitter than I am.
But that's fine.
That's totally fine. Everybody knits a little bit different, and so that's what I'm working on. It's the Kathleen by Jane Richmond. It's a wonderful pattern. I'm using, I had to go buy new interchangeable needles, so they're still Addy regular, but they're shorts. So the other ones I had were that much longer. And so they're short because I couldn't get a shorter cable, and I'm addicted to Addy needles, and so I didn't want to buy a whole new set of needles. It didn't make sense to me. So I just got shorts because then I can use them on other projects. And I'm using Malabrigo yarn. It is a worsted weight. Look at that, I'm learning all the terms.
I know.
I can't tell you the colorway because I don't have it, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in our last podcast.
So you can go back.
So you can go back and rewatch us.
Yeah.
All right, Marcia, what are you working on?
Well, first I'm going to talk about the Kathleen that I'm working on because we already started that and I've shown it. And this yarn, it's the first time I've ever knit with this yarn. And it is Woolen Vine Yarns. And it's a worsted weight. It's 100% superwash merino. And it has 218 yards for 100 grams. And it's a 4-ply worsted. It is Deco Moondrop is the colorway.
I love the colorway name.
It's so pretty. Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. It's so pretty. It's like it's a mauve or mauve, but it's got gray undertones. And then like the white is kind of like a creamy kind of color, I guess. It's so pretty. And it's a misfit skein, so it was a color error. It was a color, yeah, it was just dyed. It wasn't dyed however she wanted it dyed, but I love it. It's a really nice yarn to work with. It's the first time I've knit with it. It knits up. It feels really soft in your hands, so it knits
super
very,
soft.
Very quick. And I'm enjoying it. So that's on my needles. And now I'm going to take you to the beach so that you can see one of my favorite places to knit, but also one of my other objects I'm working on. Hi everyone. It is very windy, so I don't know how good the sound quality is on this, but this is one of my favorite places to go and knit. There are people already suntanning on the beach, and it's about plus 25 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. I think it's plus 80 Fahrenheit, probably around there. And I'm currently knitting on my sock head hat. I started this last night, and I've gotten pretty far. I'm almost ready to start just the straight knit. And it's a free pattern, and I'm knitting it on Socks That Rock. It's mill ends. And I'll see you back at the house to find out what the colorway is. So this is how far it is now. And it is the bankhead hat, like I mentioned. It's in Socks That Rock, and it doesn't have a colorway because it's mill ends. So this was supposed to be plain knitting, like airplane knitting, not plain boring knitting. But
that's why it's on wooden needles. It's
on wooden needles, so I picked up some wooden needles, and these are, I believe, yeah, they're clover, and it's 2.75 millimeters, and they are they're bamboo. They're really nice and smooth to work with. The joins are really smooth. I'm enjoying them. And I used to knit on bamboo all the time, but then but I was knitting with acrylic, so I thought it was the needles that were driving me crazy, but it was actually the yarn. So this is going along very quickly, and it was supposed to be what I was knitting on the airplane, which I might still have to work on it. It might not be done by the time we leave, so then it will become airplane knitting. And I'll just get it done while we're on the plane because we are traveling for a long time, and we'll get into that after. Also, I mentioned a few times before and on the last podcast that I was going to bite the bullet and do a heel flap and gusset. And my friend Kay from the Bakery Bears podcast, she she likes the Hermione's Everyday Sock, and that is she enjoys it. She says it's the best fit for her foot, and And so I was like, I'm going to trust her judgment, and I'm going to knit these socks.
Good call.
So,
should always trust Kay.
Yeah, it turns out you should always trust Kay.
Yeah.
It should be, we should make a book with, like, life rules. And
one of them should be
always trust Kay.
I think it's a good life rule.
So I knit Hermione's everyday sock. I'll just go through what it is right now. It's a free pattern, Hermione's everyday sock. I did the pattern version, but you can do it without the pattern, but I wanted to follow it exactly just so that my first time doing it, I wasn't playing around with it. I was just following the pattern, doing what I was told, getting it done. And it is knit with Patons Croix Jacquardus in the Fiesta Jacquard colorway. So it looks like that.
It's really pretty.
It's got red and purple and black and white and pink in it. And I love how between each of the stripes, it has black. Like that makes my happy just excited. So, so I knit that one, and I'm doing the heel flap right now on the second one. So I'm doing that one. The thing is that, like, you know, you don't know something until you know it. So it's kind of like you don't know what you're missing till you experience the thing you're missing, and then you can't get back to unknowing it. Like once
you know something, you can't unknow it. But you don't know you're missing it. That's why ignorance is bliss.
I don't know how Kay can just go around and, like, be the boss of people and get them knitting on patterns that she loves and make them fall in love with it and then have it fit better than anything ever. So now I have to take all this time and do heel flaps and gussets and all the turny stuff just so I can have a sock that's going to fit my foot properly.
So really what she's saying is, thank you, Kay.
Or that. Sorry.
How dare you teach me to do something better, that works better, fits better, and looks better.
To me. Why are you doing things like that? It's like doing things right the first time.
That's how I feel when Marcia's like, no, you need to do it this way. And I'm like, no!
I don't want to know a nicer way. So one of the things that I really like is where you pick up stitches, like where the heel flap is. There's different kinds of stitches along there, and where you pick it up. It just, like, really makes my heart happy. There's no holes. It's just straight. And guess what? I have not hidden the ends for your benefit. I've actually woven them in. So there's no ends. So once my next sock's done, I just have to weave in the heel and the toe, or not the heel and the toe. Who does that? But the cuff and the toe. One thing that did happen while I was knitting these is I ran out of yarn. Right there, where the black is, that's where I ran out of the pink. So I did have a couple extra ends to weave in because I ran out of yarn right there. I was like playing chicken and so, but
and she lost.
I so lost. I was like, really? Like,
oh man!
It's like two rows, and the bind off, like the Kitchener stitch. That's it. That's how much oh my goodness. But yeah, I really like it. It fits really well. I have a big heel and a high arch.
Yeah, no, and they look warm.
It's supple sock yarn, and it hugs my foot with a kiss on the heel, and the toe tickles my fancy.
It's not how I expected the yarn to feel.
It's not soft yarn.
No, it's like wool. Is it wool?
I'm not even gonna answer that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Sure. So anyway, what else are you working on?
Oh my goodness. Now let's take a moment there for a second. Let's just live in this moment for just a moment.
It just feels off to smell it.
I know.
Right?
And it's wool, is it not?
This?
Yes. Yes, the answer is yes, it's wool.
Yes.
Yeah. It's wool. You're right.
Yes, it's wool.
So, okay, so you just witnessed that. You did. You saw that. Last time we recorded, I edited our video, got it all ready, and I had to go to a meeting. I'm on a board, and so I had to go to this meeting to do important things with all the grown-ups. And this one, I'm like, Scylla, I want you to check. I'm uploading the next episode right now. I want you to check and see if it uploads properly. If it doesn't upload properly, I want you to delete this episode
right away
and re-upload it so that, you know, because it just bothers me so much when it's like 8 minutes. Here you go, or
it's
20
like teaser
minutes.
Trailer.
Yeah, it's like, and here's the good part, and then it cuts off, and yeah, it's just disappointing. So I left Scylla in charge of that, and okay, episode 8 was the pinnacle of my editing prowess. I had show notes underneath the episode. I had links. I had all the things. I did all the extra work to make it beautiful.
She did.
I got home and I checked it and I was like, okay, so there's no episode 9. So it didn't upload properly.
Yeah, so I stopped
it. And I'm like, but wait a second, there's no episode 8.
I'd stop that one too.
The pinnacle of my editing prowess was deleted off YouTube. So I was
heartbroken. You
Heartbroken.
can say it. That's the emotion
disappointed.
I felt from you.
And I went and saw Scylla. I'm like, what happened? And she's putting the kids to bed. She's like, oh, I don't know. They're just not going to bed. And I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. We can discuss it in a minute.
Yeah. I was like, what happened? What's going on?
And she's
somebody
like,
die?
She's like, no, I only deleted one. And she's like, but I didn't think it deleted, so I deleted it again. I'm like, mm-hmm.
Well, because she told me it's the only one on there.
Yeah, so she deleted.
And I was like, oh, it didn't go, so I deleted it again.
Like,
apparently there
it was
two
the
on
only
there.
one that would have shown on the screen because it was the top one, but Sylla's like, hey, scroll, add that one too.
No, because it came up on the side. And then I deleted it and it's still on the side. And I was
Excuses.
Like, either way, I am sorry.
So on our episode 8, a lot of people checked into it and they're like, we saw this. We already saw this one. It's old news. But we had no views on it. And we were at, I think we had 340 something. So we've had like 80 something now. So that one is actually over 400 views on that one video, but it only shows 80 something. But
my bad.
But so Scylla is not going to be dealing with any of our technical things into the future, and we apologize.
It was just
you watched episode 8.
I felt so much pressure because Bruce's like, you have to stop it right away. Like, you have to watch it and stop it. And I'm like, it didn't stop.
She's like, I'm gonna delete everything. I'm so glad the other episodes weren't there because
there,
you're like, oh, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah, I just would have kept going.
They're all gone.
I'm like, it's stuck.
Oh my goodness.
Who knew?
You are hilarious. So the
but
month's
give me a Word document and I've got this.
Yeah, no doubt. So we are almost at the end of the month.
We are on. I'm almost about to start cabling.
Yeah,
for our cable along.
Yeah, for our cable along. Lots of people have entered. I'm really happy with all of the people who have entered.
I know some beautiful, beautiful projects out there.
All of the projects look great, and I hit the love button on all of them.
And I loved From a Distance.
All.
It's in my heart.
And they look fantastic. We are giving away, as the prize for that draw, stitch markers from Sue from Two Tangled Skeins, which there's 3 of them, so it should be 3. It should be 3 tangled knots. Just kidding. No, from Two Tangled Skeins, and And she is Crafty Knitter 7 on Ravelry and on Instagram now. I was trying to find her to... Well, Instagram stalker, really. And
Well, if you're going to do it,
couldn't
do it
find
right?
her under S Gates. So, yeah, she says Crafty Knitter 7 now under there. So, that is awesome. Way to, like, cut down on all the names. I'm very proud of you. And we have stitch markers from her that we are going to give away. And I'm actually using her stitch markers. I forgot to mention that on my Kathleen. And so is Scylla. We're both using her stitch markers.
And they're wonderful. They don't snag. They keep the stitch. They're small enough to use on smaller projects.
Yep. Yep, they're pretty. I like them.
I really love them. They're my most favorite stitch markers I've worked with.
Yeah. That's good. And so we're going to give those away, but we are going to wait and do the draw till after we get back.
From Ireland.
And the reason we're doing that is we leave in a couple days, and it won't be the end of the month. We want to leave the thread open for as long as we can, and we don't want to...
we don't want to close it early, but we won't be here to send them away.
That's right. So we'll do it at the end of the month, or the beginning of June, so that, so for the June beginning episode, so as soon as we do the draw, I can have it in the mail that day or the next day, like, and get it to you right away, so there's not a big lag period, because that just feels disappointing.
It does.
I feel like, yeah. So, neither of us have FOs.
No.
I cast on lots of stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have a finished object today, but it's not a knitting object. It's a lit review.
Still working on her masters.
But today, it's my goal. It's my finished object. But I'm not going to show it to you when it's done because it will bore you.
Yeah, it makes me fall asleep. She's so funny, though. She's like, I don't even think you know what I'm writing about. And then I go on a 15-minute rant. And she's like, okay, you do listen to me.
Alright, apparently I talk about it too much.
Just because I don't talk about it all the time doesn't mean I don't pay attention. So, we have some questions on Ravelry.
We do have questions on Ravelry.
I looked through some of them, but I don't remember them at all, so this is going to be like reading it for the first time.
I love the questions. It is very nearly becoming my favorite part.
I know, eh? Okay, we are going to... I'm getting there. I'm just loading it up.
Da, da, da.
Dun, 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 dun. 171 members. Ooh. 4 more posts in the Cable Chatter thread.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Okay, let me see. Ask us questions.
The heck did I do in this row?
How exciting is this? Okay, so... I really love interacting with people because it's not just on Ravelry, but like on Instagram with both. Like, I love the interaction, and I haven't answered any of these questions on the thread because we're doing it in the video. But I love it. I love getting to know all of my new friends.
So you just got to witness me tinking back a whole 8 stitches.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
So, on one of the previous episodes, it was a couple episodes ago, I was talking about making laundry soap. I make my own laundry soap, and I have that recipe in the Ravelry thread, and for that episode. And Tesla would like to know, she says, I was wondering if you also make your own wool wash. If so, what kind of soap do you use? I do not make my own wool wash. I would love to. I would love to learn. I do not right now. I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, that intrigues me though, because I like things to be very natural. Like, we haven't used chemical cleaners in our house for over 10 years. We use a lot of vinegar that is our mainstay cleaning solution. Is vinegar. We use baking soda on things, and we use like cloths that have silver in them so they kill bacteria and things like that. But no, I don't make my own wool wash. I buy my wool wash. What is it called? Ooh. Okay, I don't know, but I'm gonna put it right here. So that's it. That's what I use. Now, Ange in the East says, Marsha, how are you doing with your yarn sniffing addiction? I'm dealing. I am actually dealing yarn now. For those yarn sniffers out there. I kind of like, I was thinking about it the other day, and I did chuckle out loud after I thought of this, and Scylla will, because she's never heard me talk about this. I thought it'd be so much fun to have like t-shirts that are like
Yarn Sniffing Anonymous?
Yarn Sniffing Anonymous, or or like support council for the yarn sniffers of the world, or something.
Okay, that would be kind of awesome.
Something along those lines, just so that we all know that we have this and we're united in our yarn sniffing. Are you still hiding yarn everywhere so you can sneak snorts of it?
Oh,
I do actually, and it's so funny because
she does.
I do. I have yarn.
The other day I caught her in her yarn room. Just like...
Right like that. I was like in my sock yarn section. I'm like, that smells nice. That smells nice.
Really, when you were deciding which yarn to use to do this?
Yes.
I think she picked that one based on sniff.
Yeah, it smelled good.
It does smell good.
Oh, and the Woolen Vine yarn, it smells good too. It doesn't have a weird smell. It's good.
It's good. It passes the sniff test.
Yeah, they do. And what is your favorite one to snip? Ooh. Ooh, that's a good question. I had this yarn. It was alpaca yarn. And I bought it at Zeller's. And I got it probably 7 years. No, less than that. When was Zeller's going out of business? Like 3 years ago?
3 years ago, because then Target came in and now it's going out.
Yeah, Target. But, so I bought this yarn from Zeller's. They were going out of business, and it was an alpaca, and this alpaca yarn that was awesome. All over your face. And
on my shirt. Good job,
It
Scylla.
felt really nicely, so I was crocheting and knitting purses out of it, because it just it made really nice messenger bags. But that yarn was my favorite to smell. It just had this, I can't even describe it. It just smelled so pretty. And I don't know if an elderly lady smothered in perfume rubbed it all over her and then put it back. I have no idea, but it just smelled so delightful. So when I was working with it, I'd just be happy. I don't know. I love smelling it.
Happy scents.
Okay, so You Who Knits. This is Georgina.
Ooh.
She has a podcast that I watch, and she's adorable. I like her so much. We're if we were in the same town, we'd be such good friends. Well, we are good friends.
Run, Georgina, run.
We'll be my new best friend. So she says, hi, Marsha and Scylla. I wish I could have chickens in Toronto. I've asked the city, laugh out loud, but they said no. However, they told me I could have 2 to 3 llamas for the size of my backyard. Who picks these silly rules? Well, okay.
Llamas. You can't have chickens, but you can have llamas.
That's good. Right?
That doesn't make any sense.
I know. I want a llama. I can't have a llama here. A llama ding dong. Yeah, I would love to have a llama here, but our neighbors, we're, urban homesteaders, so they already think we're nuts.
Your entire front yard is a garden.
I know.
And you live in a subdivision.
Is it a subdivision? Really?
Yeah.
Is that what you would call this?
A subdivision, yeah. Houses within Yeah.
A vicinity of other houses?
Yeah, and then because you're in a subdivision of the city, this is like a housing subdivision. And then you can walk to the stores. But there is no stores in your subdivision because you're in a subdivision.
Yeah. But we're in the middle of two big areas.
Yes. It's not the suburbs, but it's a subdivision.
Yeah, so. But we do live right in the city.
It's true.
And our neighbors, when my husband grabbed the shovel and he started digging up the front lawn, they thought he was going to, like, do some nice landscaping and put in some flowers.
Little did they know.
Yeah, that was awesome.
No flowers for you.
No flowers for you. No, there's lots of flowers out there now, but there's lots of food. Okay, so she says,
now the neighbors come over.
That wasn't a question. Who picks these silly rules?
Oh.
We do. No. That wasn't actually her question. Anyway, I have a few questions.
Oh, here we go.
Georgina, ready?
Okay, we're on this.
Marsha.
Wait, let me read the... Now you could read it.
Okay. I know you love knitting socks, so I would like to know, do you prefer stripes or variegated yarns?
Stripes.
So, for socks, I prefer stripes. Because I really like colorful socks. But also, the stripes keep me motivated for the knitting. So I'm like, I'll just knit one more. I'll just knit to the next color. And then it goes really quickly because I'm like,
I'll just knit to the next color. I'll just knit to the next color.
I'll just finish this next section, right? It breaks it down. So these are each of your, every time you sit down to knit, you're like, okay, I'm going to do 3 sections. And then you knit those 3 sections. You're like, okay, just one more. So it's not even just one more row anymore. It's one more
set of color.
One more section, right? And so I'm like, okay, so I'll knit the next black. And then I'm like, oh, but then the black and white is coming. So I'll just knit that section. And then I'll do the black that follows that. And then, but I really like how the red looks against the black. And so I'll just get that done. So for socks, I prefer stripes. But I kind of like the look of this.
I love that.
And I like the pooling too, for hats and accessories, just to give it a little bit of a different look. And this is so interesting because I was magic looping this because I didn't have a smaller needle. I went and picked up one, but I was magic looping it. And so this is all for where I was magic looping. And then, because this is the 2x2 rib, when I switched to the one where I was straight knitting, you can see that my gauge changed because then it started doing that. And this is all ribbing. So that's where I switched from magic loop to straight. So it's very interesting how that works. So, yeah. So I do like, I like both, but I think they each serve their purpose. The variegated yarns, I like to look at the variegated yarns in the skein more than in the balls. But the striped yarn, when it's in a ball and a skein, actually, it looks very deceiving. Because the color repeats, it looks more variegated when it's a stripe, and then it looks more striped when it's a variegated, which is very interesting.
That is interesting.
Which tricked me when I was first starting. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be nice stripes. And I get knitting, and I'm like, oh, not stripes at all. What is going on here?
So can I ask a question?
Okay, but Georgina's other questions are still
waiting. It'll be a fast question. Sorry, okay. Georgina.
Sorry, Georgina.
What's variegated? Is this variegated?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Now we can move on to Georgina's questions.
Okay.
Okay.
So, are you taking any special projects with Ireland? With you to Ireland? Yes, I am taking. I'm going to take the sockhead hat and the Kathleen, and I'm going to also take a pair of green striped socks to knit. And I cast on the toe before because I wanted to make sure that was going to work awesome. And now, thanks to Kay, I'm going to rip that out and do another Hermione's Everyday Sock. Like,
I know, right?
Just everything got way more complex now.
Wrong.
Okay, so
for me, is that question directed just at you or both of us?
Oh yeah, it's just to me.
Oh, okay.
But you can answer too. I don't think she'll mind.
No, if it's just to you, that's okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna take the Kathleen. There's green in it. There, go ahead.
But you can't, I don't take these on the plane.
No, I don't plan on knitting on the plane.
It just says Ireland knitting. Yeah, I'm taking all the plane knitting.
Yeah, I'm not knitting on the plane.
Okay, so Georgina's also a psychology student.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm. So she knows that you're just full of hot air. She's like,
she can just
why is Scylla nuts? No.
She can hear that I'm making stuff up on the spot.
Yeah. Fully. Bilateral stimulation.
Oh, good. I know, right? What really is that?
Really. So as a psychology student, I love how you guys use some psychology integrated with knitting in your podcast. Scylla, how do you come up with these psychology segments, and do you research them in connection to knitting?
To be perfectly honest, I do research the segments. Usually I'm thinking what's on our mind, what's going on, and I try and look for things that are positive. And I do research what I'm going to do. Most of it's stuff I know, and then I just research it, and then I apply it to the act of knitting. And
she bounces it off me, and she'll go on a big, like, half-an-hour tangent.
And then she's like, too much information.
And also, how does that relate to knitting?
Oh, yeah. She's like, bring it back to knitting. I was like, oh, okay.
And bring it back. Again.
Yeah. And so I relate it to knitting. I've looked at some research, and there's a lot of research that supports knitting for anxiety and things like that. And there are certain things that I have researched
in
relation to knitting. Yeah, and in prisons. The knitting in prisons. Let's knit in prison. But no, actually there is some research that does specifically talk about knitting and the psychology of it. Mm-hmm. And so I incorporate that usually into what I say. But sometimes I just go off the cuff of what I know and apply it how it goes.
Okay, she has another question. And Scylla, do you have any projects that you have planned to take to Ireland?
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yes.
It's all about you now.
I like the way you divide that. I plan on taking my Kathleen hat.
What about me?
It has green in it, so it's perfect.
Yeah, it does actually, yeah. She says, enjoy your trip, and thanks for answering my silly questions.
Thanks for asking your questions, and I don't think they were silly. I think they were wonderful.
The only silly question is the one that's not asked.
Very, very true.
Yeah. So,
excuse me.
That was fun.
That was fun.
We have some stuff. Some stash enhancements.
Stash enhancements.
I call this a stash enhancement right here. We got some t-shirts.
We did get some t-shirts.
And,
I'm just being awkward.
They are Bakery Bears t-shirts. And I have a pin.
They do. I have a pin, too. I just didn't put my pin on.
Whatever. It's
on my knitting bag.
It's just because I'm cooler than you.
You are cooler than me. In the knitting community, you're way cool.
I had to be cool somewhere.
I know, right?
Oh, you're so funny. Okay, so yes, we got t-shirts. But we got them a while ago. We were going to wear them on our last podcast, but we
forgot.
Totally forgot.
Yeah.
So we dropped the ball.
And then today Marsha puts on a shirt and she's like, what are you going to wear? So I'm like, I'm going to wear my Bakery Bear t-shirt. And she's like, good idea. And right there she switches shirts.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been wearing it around town. Actually, I wore it shopping. And this lady, she's like, so what does that mean, what's on your needles? And I'm like, it's a drug prevention. Did you
say that to her?
I was like, and then I busted again. I was like, no, it's a knitting podcast.
Drug prevention.
Like, that's how I opened it. I'm like, that's the first thing that came out of my mouth. I'm like, wow. No, that's not what it is. My community. Did
you know this person?
No.
Just some random stranger.
So what is that for? I'm like, it's a drug prevention program. And I was like, but no, it's not. It means what's on your knitting needles. It's a knitting podcast. And she's like, oh, that's very interesting. And she's like, there's knitting podcasts?
Yeah, welcome. There is. Whole new world. It's like that thing about not unknowing.
And then I was like, you know what? Do you have a piece of paper? I have a pen. You can have my autograph. No, I didn't say that, actually. It's funny.
You're hilarious. You are hilarious.
See? Right? I would embarrass so many people if they came, like, shopping with me. Oh. It's a gong show. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So, we had April we talked about last time is usually a rough month for us. 4 days ago was the anniversary of our mom's passing. But we have this beautiful friend who's so nice and
So nice.
and sweet. And we like her so much. And she's like sunshine on a cloudy day.
When it's cold outside. She's like the month of May.
It's a song. I got sunshine on a cloudy day when it's cold outside. I got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way, my girl? Okay, but
Anyway.
seriously, it's Melinda, who is also known as Yarnder Woman. She knows now, right?
See, I'm working on it.
And she has her own podcast. She's sweet and she's thoughtful and I like listening to her. And when my husband hears her podcast on, his ears perk up because he loves Australia and everything that entails. And she sent us a beautiful card. She
it was
sent
absolutely lovely.
some yummy treats that lasted like 5 seconds.
Except for the one on your dresser
and
that we gave to your husband.
yes, because he loves them so
But
much.
we look
Tim
at them
Tams
every day.
are so good. And a Brett for each of the girls, which they started wearing right away. Wore it to school the next day. They just love them. She also sent some sock yarn scraps for my sock yarn lineup. They're very pretty. And she also sent us each a skein. What are you doing?
I'm knitting.
We're running. We're doing a podcast.
Sorry. I got into my counting.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
She gave us each a skein of the Cyborg's Craft Room yarn, and I've never knit with this before, so I'm very excited about it. Mine's called Red Giant, and it's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. It's fingering weight, and there's 463 yards in here.
Wow. And
So I'm so
mine
excited.
is 100% superwash merino wool. Fingering weight. It's 100 grams and 438 yards. And mine is called, and I love this. I picked the, when it came in, Marsh's like, which one would you like? I'm like, I want this one. And so when I read the name, I just burst out laughing. It's Broken Mirrors, Broken Minds.
And it's Melinda's favorite yarn
psychological
to
as that.
knit with, so I'm very excited to give that a try.
And
So
it's
thank
wool.
you, Melinda.
Thank you, Melinda.
It's beautiful.
It's wool, right?
Yes, it says it on it.
I know.
Okay.
All right.
So also, I ordered some yarn from Nicole C. Mendez, and I got 2 skeins. And it's her rainbow yarn. It's sock weight yarn. It's called Ringle Sock and Wool Stripey. 400 meters, 75% wool, 25% polyamide. Colorway is rainbow, and it's self-striping sock yarn. I did a pre-order of this yarn, and when it arrived, I was surprised because I thought it was darker than it actually is. I thought the colors were more vibrant, and these look a little bit more pastel-y than I thought. It was more like
hard, sharp colors.
yeah, sharp colors.
Bright,
And these-
bright.
yeah. And these are more
Pastel soft.
Shades. So I still like it, and I'm knitting some socks for our oldest, and she had her birthday this month, and I was going to knit these, but the yarn got stuck at the border for so long. I ordered it in March, and it just arrived last week, so I was thinking that it would take a couple weeks to arrive. It took a month to come. So it wasn't any fault of Nicole. Well, it wasn't. No.
Well, no, it was.
No, it wasn't.
It got stuck at the border.
It got stuck in the border, and that's from the time she shipped it. Like, I ordered it quite a bit before that, and then it was a month from her shipping date till it arrived. So I'm still going to make those socks, and they're still going to be a surprise. But they're just going to be a late birthday present instead of at her birthday. But I think she's going to love them. So
I think so too.
yeah, I think she's going to be such a fan. So I have gone on a couple virtual knit nights. I think those are fun.
The virtual knit nights?
Yeah, with the Canadian Knitter podcast. Her name on Instagram is True Canuck Girl. So she's a fellow Canadian, and she's hosted quite a few virtual knit nights, and I've gone on to a couple of them, and she is hilarious. And I've really enjoyed those because I don't really attend any knit nights or knit afternoons anymore, like right now. So just because I'm so crazy busy, and that just is a really good time for me to like just go. It starts at about 3 in the afternoon here, which is 7 o'clock there. So I usually wait till like 4 or 5 and then go and sit in for an hour and then go and get all the kids to bed and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And she lets you know in her threads. And she mentioned us in her last podcast. And that is why I believe we've had so many likes in the last couple days. Is thanks to, or subscribers is thanks to her. So thank you. So nice.
It's really nice.
And her podcast is so, she's so fantastic. And her husband is on Instagram. And he is, I'll put his name right here. I think it's Imperial Knits. He is a big Star Wars buff.
Okay, that is kind of
like
awesome.
A big Star Wars buff. So if I post anything that has to do with Star Wars or Star Wars Lego, it's like there's this big rant underneath as to how Disney's ruined the world. And I'm like, I like it. I just
awesome.
laugh. I'm like, that's awesome.
Do him and Obi-Wan Knitter know each other?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's so cute. Yeah, and yeah, Sarah's True Canuck Girl, and she's so funny. She's like, because at our last virtual knit night, she's like, he collects yarn and Star Wars stuff. It's like, well, at least he collects yarn. Like, that's good. Something you can use too. Okay, so moving on. May 1st Knitalong.
We've already touched on it a little bit, but
our next Knitalong begins May 1st, and it is the color green, and we are going to use the hashtag.
Oh, hold on. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Knit green. So it's just green. It's like whatever you want to knit. Whatever that is.
Knit it and knit it green.
Green. And it goes for the month of May. We're going to draw for the winner when we get back. So we'll be doing 2 draws when we get back. The first episode in June, we'll be doing 2 draws. And we don't have a prize lined up yet for that one.
But
I was thinking that
it's going to be exciting.
You could win something from Ireland. So we'll pick something up in Ireland for that. So exciting.
So exciting.
Yes. And we are getting ready for Ireland.
It's really exciting.
It's happening.
We leave this week.
We do.
It's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We're packed.
Yep.
I packed yesterday.
I've been
Marcia's been packed for weeks.
But I repacked. I took some stuff out and I repacked some things. And yeah, so.
Nice.
I'm ready. As soon as the alarm clock goes off, I can go. So we leave town here because we're not flying out of the city we live in, but we fly out of a neighboring city. So we leave here Wednesday and we fly out Thursday and we arrive in Ireland Friday. So, excuse me, our total travel time is 20 hours.
Yeah, it's
Something
long.
like that. So, yeah, it's 20.
No, it's 24 hours. Oh no, because there's time differences.
20 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because with the time differences. So we arrive there at 9 something in the morning, which here is 1 o'clock in the morning. So we'll be exhausted.
Yes.
We're going to try to sleep on the plane, but But I know myself, and I'm that person on the plane that everybody else wishes would just be quiet. I'm trying to sleep with that person. Stop talking.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm comfortable with that.
The last time you made a best friend on the plane.
Know. She's so cute.
You're like, we're BFFs.
Yeah. So I was like, really?
I slept.
Yeah. She's so cute.
I took a nap.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to leave. We leave this week.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. And so the next time you see us, we're going to be in Ireland. And you know what's funny is I checked the prices to fly out of Ireland to go to where Dan and Kay live.
She did.
I was like, I could fly over, hang out for a day, and come back.
It's true. You could.
Yeah, I could. I don't know.
It's your choice.
I know.
You want to do it?
I could do it. Go to England for a day. So here I am.
Well, we're planning on going to Scotland for a day.
Yeah, just see all of the countries. So, thank you.
Thank you very much for tuning in. It was wonderful knitting with you again.
I don't like that we say tuning in.
Thank you for coming along on our journey, on our diatribe.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sitting and knitting with us.
We love you.
We love you.
Until next time.
Until next time.